Thank You for Your Service is a new drama written and directed by Jason Hall. It stars Miles Teller, Haley Bennett, Belua Coelho, and Joe Cole. Miles Teller plays Adam Schumann, a war veteran that just came home from his last tour with two of his closest friends. He plans on going back to the family life and being there for his wife and kids. But him and his friends come back with a lot of baggage caused by PTSD. They try to find help, they try to control it, and they try to find their place in a normal world after they've been changed forever by the acts of war. This is Jason Hall's directorial debut after he wrote American Sniper for Clint Eastwood. And you can tell that this was his first time directing a flick. In a lot of places, this movie holds no punches. You see exactly what the veterans have to go through after they come back to just seek help. They go to a lot of facilities, but a lot of facilities are too backed up and they don't get the required attention that these veterans deserve. Certain people in higher command don't take it as seriously or just feel like they're taking advantage or it's for softies. While these veterans have been scarred forever, for life, for seeing acts of war, violence, death, torture, they see their fellow man get killed and they're just eternally scarred for it. It's just a very, very fractured thing that happens to a life. While this movie certainly does capture raw moments that come from PTSD, it doesn't fully dive into it as much as it could. It's nothing that we haven't seen before in other movies. Stop Loss, another military film that came out a few years ago, captured just as much as this movie does capture. I also see it as a missed opportunity. This movie does not capture the perspective of the spouses that are going through the PTSD with the men. Haley Bennett plays Miles Teller's wife and she does what she can, but her role is just not meaty. There's not enough time spent with both of them. She does get little sparks of moments when they're together and she does try to find help for him, but this movie doesn't get as much of their perspective as you would think. Especially not from Belua Coelho's wife, played by Catle-Hughes, who's pregnant with their child, and you never get to see her. You just get one moment of PTSD with them and that's that, which is just, it's kind of criminal. Like, you got to see the women's perspectives when they see their men coming home from such a traumatic situation. It's a traumatic situation for the both of them, and I think that both perspectives would have been a lot more interesting. Miles Teller's fantastic in the role as usual. Miles Teller has grown to be a fantastic actor. He's moved away from the frat boy stuff and he's been a more contained actor, and he's just getting better and better and better. All three of the main leads suffer from different type of PTSD. Miles Teller seems to be the one that's really just trying to control it and keep it together while being the foundation of support for his two men. Belua Coelho is actually the scene stealer in this movie. His character is very tragic, very confused. He's suffering from memory loss, scattered memory. He can't remember things, and he knocks it out of the park with this one. It's a tragedy because he's so committed to his part that as the story goes along, it doesn't really give the character justice. Now, it's hard to argue with the storyline of this movie because it's apparently based on a true story off a book written by David Finkel, but I can't help but feel like a lot of this story is predictable. Most of the time it comes off really forced, and this is where the directing from Jason Hall comes in. You can tell that this guy's a rookie. Line deliveries come off forced, scenes come off really pushy. Moments in the flick, while I believe that they may have happened because of his directing, they come off really exaggerated and unbelievable. They force in a subplot with a drug kingpin that really was kind of unnecessary, and you can't help but want to roll your eyes through the whole thing, which is criminal because these men really suffer this kind of stuff. This is not something to roll your eyes at. Another fatal mistake that Jason Hall did was cast Amy Schumer as a widow of one of the war veterans that passed away. Amy Schumer, the comedian, is great. She's fantastic. We've seen her in Trainwreck. Her show's a hit, but it may not be so easy to pull off a part like a war veteran's widow. She just stuck out like a sore thumb, and it took me completely out of the movie. While the performances are really strong, especially from Miles Teller, the story doesn't dig deep into the PTSD as much as it could, but it does open eyes on some certain perspectives of what the veterans have to go through to just seek some help. They need help, and we as a country should do more for them, especially after they give their lives to us, to our safety. I wish this movie tackled a lot more about that. I wish this movie tackled the female perspective on it, the spousal perspective on it as much, and I wish the director would have toned down a lot of scenes and kept it as realistic as possible and not make so many exaggerated situations. All in all, I was pretty disappointed by this movie. I'm gonna have to give this movie 2 out of 5 stars. Well, once again, guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you see here, click like at the bottom. Go to our SoundCloud page for our more extensive reviews. This is Ray from LiveWire, and once again, thanks for watching.